Hi everyone, welcome back. Thank you so much for watching today. We are going to make a custom order for a client. This is what we're making today. She sent me a reference photo of a set she already had from a different artist, but she's lost one of the nails and she wants another set the same way. So I had to work out how I would recreate that set today. A lot of custom color making, which you'll see later on in the video. So I hope you enjoy. So right now I am prepping the nails with the soft side of this buffer, just to buff up the surface a little bit to make the polishes adhere better when I get the base coat on. And now I am making the coffin shape on the nails and giving them a little dust off before we put our base coats on. So here I'm going in with my base coats, and I always do 2 layers of this. Makes the nails stronger, and it's just something that I've learned to do because sometimes if you don't have a lot of polish on press on nails, it does make them weaker. So this just makes sure we're curing for 60 seconds each time. So every time I do a layer of any polish, I will cure it for 60 seconds at a time. Now I'm going in with a milky white. That's what I could kind of work out from the reference photo. She showed me the bases were milky whites, and the other ones was used with like a blooming gel, which you'll see later on. So I do milky white on every nail, but the ring finger will be a full milky white nail. With the milky white, I do have to build it up a bit because right now, as you can see, it's probably just transparent. It's not really showing the milkiness of it. So I think I do 2 or 3 coats of the milky white on this set. Now we are going in and custom making the steel blue color, which I could not work out how to do it first, and then I remembered I had this really cool kind of metal painting gel. So I just mixed that with this blue. This is sped up like 10 times, so this took a while to mix. And once I got the color I wanted, I placed it on the nail. And I'm actually so glad I made basically too much of this color because I really liked it and it looks kind of like a denim. So I'm going to keep the rest of the color and do a denim looking set. So this is what I used, and if you need to slow down the video or pause it, that's what the metal base was. Now going in with my blooming gel, and I am doing a layer on this nail because I wanted to test out what color would look like. You do like a medium thickness, so enough for it to bloom out but not enough where it's falling off the sides. Any excess I had, I just placed it onto the nail next to it as well. So now I'm going to go in with the color that I thought was going to be perfect. And so I'm just placing it on with a thin brush on where I want it to sit. So it's going to cross over where the blue is. So I do want to try and get rid of that like sharp line. So I'm putting it across there. At this point, I realize this is the completely wrong color. It is way too pinky for the earthy tones that we were trying to go with. So I had to mix up a color and work it out. So I mixed up a little color and then I realized that color was way too transparent. So this is a really long time. It was about 25 minutes of mixing up the color until I got it perfectly the way I wanted. So it was about 25 minutes, put in 5 seconds. And I finally got the tone of color I needed. So now I am going through and doing the blooming gel on all the nails again and testing it out. When I need to mix colors, that probably is the most time consuming part, because so many colors have different tones and depth and consistency levels. So my issue with this one was the consistency wasn't strong enough. It was way too transparent. So I had to mix in like a high consistency, I guess, polish, and then put in the colors I needed. And it finally came together with the color that I liked. But always remember, like, if you don't have the color, if you've got primary colors and black and white, you can make the color that a client needs. So if they say, oh, do you have this color, and you don't have it, you can just mix it. You will learn color theory really quickly. And just look it up, say, how do I make this color and what colors are like involved in it, and Google will help you. It will say, oh, use a ratio of 2 and 1 of a different color, and you'll get used to it. You'll mix it, you'll see, okay, it needs a little bit more of this or this, and you'll just learn along the way. Now I'm going in with just these black little stripes. Nothing really too detailed. That's what kind of makes this set. I think it's quite all over the place and just kind of random. Now I'm going in with the white little streaks as well. At this point I was a little worried because I was like, oh, it's not looking the way I wanted it to look, and I was worried it wouldn't come together. But then I started to do this next part, which is putting the gold flakes. I'd never used these before. I've always wanted to, so it was really cool to be able to use these gold flakes. And it's basically sheets of really thin, like, foil. And I just kind of crushed it up on the brush because I needed like little bits, and placed it on the nail. And it turned out so well. It like brought it all together after I put this on. So you'll see there I just got a tiny piece off, and then I rubbed it on my table there, and it broke it up into smaller pieces. And so what I did before I put this on is I just put a base gel. I didn't do a top coat just because it would have been too thick, because you've got to do a top coat right at the end. So just using your base coat, put on over the top, and it'll help it stick to it. You might not even need to do the base coat if your gels are like the ones that you need to wipe after each coat. It might just stick to it on its own. So here I'm going in with my top coat and making sure I put it over everything, and making sure those gold flakes are laying flat. And I think they turned out great. So here's the photo of how they turned out, and they look so gorgeous, and I love them. If you want to place an order, just DM me on Facebook or Instagram. Thank you.